All right. Welcome back to another monthly recap. Oh boy, what a month, honestly. Um, Personally, I think I mentioned in the last video, and in the past, summertime usually slower. We had slow months, beginning of the summer. But man, July was the craziest by far. And I think part of it was because we got into this bubble situation with semis, and a lot of unwinding situation with a lot of other things, hands on hands, and huge small cap movers, Chinese pumpers. Like, it was a repeatable story that I have seen throughout my career, uh, and being able to really work around with it. And man, um, I'll stop there. But this month, July, was absolutely crazy, and a lot of people already made a fortune, and a lot of people they lost a big portion of their portfolio. And as an example, fund manager that probably you guys heard the story, the dude Leopold Aschenberner, if I pronounce it correctly, the fund manager at the Situational Awareness ex OpenAI. I'm not really going to talk a lot about that, just touch on it, share my thoughts. And I think the most important part was that the last week after all those unwinding with semis and market really pull back, although we don't really trade with the crazy more overall market. We do see the hedge sometimes happen, like a little bit of a correlation between some of the small caps in the sector than the over market. So uh, that's what I've seen. And we had on Wednesday and Thursday, according to his LP's letter, he was just selling all those position through bunch of block orders, dark pools, which essentially create this downside pressure. And these dark pools usually transactions that you don't see on the order flows, but affects eventually. And there's the big portion, big chunk of the quantity of shares. So for a fund that was managing, I guess, 45 billion, I think they're down like 30 billion or something, and who knows. And this was a leverage thing. So part of that is, when you're too young and you get the cap allocators that give you, ticket size of 200, and you also have a good year building it, turn that 200 to, I guess, 40 billion for this guy. Kudos to him. I mean, that's great. But the point is, as a fund manager, you really need to be able to manage your risk, understand trading, at least portfolio management, or have a portfolio manager that are super experienced. And I guess in this case, he wasn't. So understanding that is very important. It's like being a retail, not an institutional, but you're doing the same mistake. I mean, it's human, right? So human error. When you don't have the risk parameters, when you don't have a system that helps you, to protects you, not go underwater that much. So I think there's a good lesson to learn there for a lots of people in the industry, and also traders in the retail space. And I think you kind of see this kid, uh, that as a tech figure, and going long only on positions and building a massive return, I guess, performance, uh, with great vision or fundamental of the side, but completely avoiding what exactly it's behind those position management and the risk management, and how do you really be able to rotate and get out of a bad situation, and especially when you're super levered. But for this guy, I'm surprised that it was a long only kind of fun. I've never seen like much of a short in his book, according to 13Fs. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure exactly. I think he had some shorts, but majority was just buy, hold, and into AIs, massive AI bull. So that's kind of his theory and idea. Um, and then that eventually eat up to you. And then why would you use leverage when you're long and you have much capital to just play around with it? So that's another question. Anyway, I'm not gonna talk about that. Let's just dive into you know, our monthly recap, which us small cap day traders and swing traders and option traders as well, which is something that we newly added in our symbol alerts. And that's also something that if you are interested, you should get on that. We do have um, some of the options that we traded. It's majority selective of option of really midterm, long term. So not really doing much of a momentum with it, but yeah, that's kind of a goal. But on the equity side, we've seen like a lot of movement, especially uh, the one and only DFNS, which was I think came out in July when we see this massive run. I'm gonna dive into this and share a bit about what happened with the month, and go from there. So for me, DFNS, I mean, we called this at 696. Massive mover, squeeze all the way up, and then follow along. There was another a bunch of other tickers that trying to kind of get that momentum, but DFNS was crazy, man. I mean, I was trading this around 8ish, kind of completely missed out on the first alerts, and 8ish to 11ish, and to me this was kind of a pump and dump activities again. Well, we do have that, obviously. This was a software company, US based. It wasn't a Chinese thing, but uh for me it was just more of a momentum thing. Then next thing you know, this thing is just a massive swing. And I've seen few of our member were holding this to a $50, which was, congrats to those. And great, you know, trade on the long side. This is the type of trade A plus setup that you kind of expected if you're a just long breakout type of trader, which majority of beginners, you guys perhaps are. You don't really have much of a leverage. You have a smaller account. This is an account grow. Like this helps you to grow your account uh massively in one good trade. And that's all you need. That's all you need. Some of you, that's all you need for your month, for your quarter, or even years. I've seen accounts that turn from 2000 with one good trade to hundreds of thousands. And that's great. And it's just that you have to understand, how do you keep that money, how do you maintain that, how do you stay disciplined and journal your things and be able to continuously doing this on a consistent basis. So that's very important. And don't get too biased with the move, and don't get too you know don't don't just look at one side of the thing. I mean, obviously, this was a massive front side move, and eventually, mean reversion. I mean, mean reversion happened, and just kind of like, sorry, it's just a backside move, and then short pile up, and you could kind of expect this, and shorts are ready for this type of thing. So you have to pay attention to that as well, and seeing the dilutions, the micro cap. Sorry, it's a micro float, and yeah, so it's important to know that. But overall, this was a great trade of the month, along with PN. That's I personally traded. This was another one. It's kind of like in the same scenario type, but I believe the PN was Chinese companies. So this was a different industry, and also Chinese. So yeah, that was also one of our trade. I think I traded this, yeah, around this area, and then it just slowly like consolidated, hold up this. Our weekly watch list, I talked about this. I think it was if it's I think I mentioned it was if it gets above that 631, which it did, and hold up and kind of you know hold the range for a few days, and then massive breakout, continuation. So far, it's still holding that 15, but you got to be cautious. It's also like it's an energy stock, Chinese. You have to be careful with this stuff, and don't marry to the idea. So yeah, those are the two great trade for the month, at least for me, and our channel as our scanner caught up, and we had many calls in the month of July. Um, yeah, so me, aside from these two smaller cap, I also stick to a bunch of other larger cap trades. Stuff like AMAT. That was a good short for me for the month. So I think Michael Berry was talking about this one, and it was just one of those things that you kind of see the pressure to the downside, and you want to be able to take advantage of those setup and those movements. So for me, it was more of a scout, higher price. You definitely don't want to get caught up into bigger size on this. Then Cat was another one of these, same as this, Caterpillar. These are big companies. These are big names. But it was solid. And then what else? What else I had? Then back to small cap. I think I had another one, ADVB. That was another trade on a small cap. This was also great too. I think I only traded very small. Yeah, ADVB healthcare, massive runner. What did I do on this day? Let me take a look. ADVB. Let's see. Yeah, I think it was around. Oh yeah, I did trade this pretty much around 17-ish. I kind of missed out this early move. Obviously, I'm still avoiding crazy. I'm still avoiding biotech companies, but this was a healthcare. I mean, obviously, it's kind of the same scenario for me. Their setups are very similar. If you have the samples of collecting all these setups, you know what I'm talking about, and that is just this, not a great kind of um, industry that you really want to mess around with either way. But when the trade is there and the breakout really happens, these stuff can really move higher and create a massive opportunity. So yeah, I was trading around, like, I'm looking at my screenshot. I think, yeah, 17-ish. I traded at 17-ish, and really in the last kind of piece, and I got out more like 18, 19. So that was kind of my trade on this. It was pure scalp, but it was great. Um, And yeah, pretty much I missed out this kind of the past 2 days move. It was still, making lower high, which is, obviously kind of the setup. But that was kind of good. That was kind of good. And then what else we had? Let's take a look. Yeah, so on our option, still traded the Nvidia Leap. That's kind of my swing for it. And it's a leap situation. I'm shorting Nvidia, and that is kind of obviously optional thing, and that's my view on it. And as the time goes, I will be able to manage this, but very small size, not much of a lot. So that's kind of our long-term swing for the next year option contract on around this lower level of just not gonna mention much, but yeah, that's kind of I have on my book, on a long-term book in a way. And then ZCMB, is that the one? ZMCB, what was that? ZM, there was a ZM something. I think I missed the spelling on that. Let me take a look. ZCMB, right? D. Oh yeah, that's the one. Not sure what happened. Oh, they delisted maybe? Yeah, was that the trade I did? Yeah, I did have that on my oh yeah. Interesting. CCMD. CCMD. Oh yeah, it's right there. I did not listen, but they completely obliterated it as expected. But I did trade this on July 22. So I think it would be around-ish. Oops. Let's take a look. Take a step back. Should be around this kind of time frame, if I'm not mistaken. Sometimes TD, yeah. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at yeah, it should be around that time exactly. Yes, that was a time. So 22. This was right around this time, and I did traded this. I think this was my last trade for a smaller cap. I did trade this around like 10-ish. Very high. I wasn't really proud about this trade. I think I took a loss on it. Very small. Not sure. Oh no, 1091. And I got out around 1118. So pretty much I just, followed, they just for the breakout. And that was a great call. We had it on a scanner actually from 8-ish, I believe, July 22. Let's go back and see. Yeah, ZCMV actually we had it from $2. So $2 call. Obviously, I missed out, and I'm coming back looking at this. I was probably trading something else, and then just that 10. So it was an interesting trade. But obviously, this is you have to take advantage of these and into the momentum. Don't marry to them and be able to get out. This is another Chinese pump. So yeah, I trade pretty much long this month. Not much of a short. This was a great short setup. Obviously, gap and crap already setting there, and that was really interesting. And yeah, pretty much it for the month. Aside from that, I've been trading a lot of QQs and overall like just a lot of options we trade. What else? I think I have V2. What was this V about? Oh yeah, this was also another one. Did trade V. And this wasn't also another, it wasn't great trade. take a look. Yeah, consumers cyclical, a smaller cap. Yeah, this was another one on. I think I traded this around 27 bucks. So 27, it was around 30. Yeah, it was very early. The first gap up, first day gap up, was my kind of go-to. It's Monday, so this must be just a few weeks back. So yeah, that was kind of not a great trade, I'd say. I think they had some news going on that the first day. Yeah, it's like a merger news. So great setup for me to just be able to capitalize on it. I missed the first move early morning, and then I kind of went for the bounce on the dip side. I think it was around this time. Pull that. Yeah, I mean it should be yeah. So this pullback, I wanted to get this bounce. It didn't bounce the entire day, so me just scalping this, and that was it, pretty much. Yeah, that was it. But then stock obviously continue multi-day runner, did a great job for itself. So yeah, we're still getting a lot of energy movers. I think we had this BATL in our trade in the past. I'm not really interested into this anymore, just because it doesn't have much of a juice. Whenever there's a headline about war or energy, you don't really get much of this anymore. It's like, obviously you have to understand this is not correlated whatsoever. It's just because it's energy sector, it does not mean that it's in oil and gas and energy sector. Obviously, it doesn't mean that it can go higher. You have to take a look at their volume, and these are very volume driven, and their floats. So I mean, even if natural gas is going up, it doesn't mean that this can really go up. So don't fall into that trap that if oil goes up, all the other energy stock has to go up. It really depends on their volume too. Yes, they might have a positive day, um more towards their new high or something, but if there's no volume, it's dead. You should just avoid it. I mean, that's number one thing you should know before placing any trade. So yeah, that's that. What we're gonna look for the coming week, I would still pay attention to a lot of our bounce move, and I think after this crazy unwind on over market last month, and then the reversion happened, and this was kind of crazy to see what happened with the market. I'm still a little bit bearish on the side, on the semis and all. So I would definitely watch the Soxol, which is the main driven of the overall market. If Soxol move, you will see SPX move and Q's moves and all that. So pay very close attention to those, and that would be kind of where the market's heading in with those movements. But on our kind of watch list, I think this no, not NUWE. The PN is still good. I still like PN. I think we might be able to get another traction to the upside. And what else we have? No, not much of an interest there on YAS, CYCU. So micro pennies already back to where it was. I think FCUV was another one. Yeah, this one I will be watching this one. I think they had some news. It's technology, micro float. No, they did not have any news. So we'll definitely watch this for coming week. It's already had this move, but let's see if volume persists, if volume can continue pour into it, and possible pullback, consolidation, and then another move towards the new high. So if that happened, worth watching. What we have UPC. It's another one. It's a drug company, Chinese. So be careful with this. Now my cup of tea won't be looking this. Ruby. Not. What is this? Yeah, nah. Yeah, this is not a stock that you should be really pay attention to. Although they still have much of a. What is this? What is this company? Let's take a look. Shipping company. Okay. No news. Just some volume activity. Yeah, I won't really spend time on this. And then also you have your DFNS. So watch DFNS for cover pop and just bunch of dip buyers into that area, like bag holders sitting here, most likely looking to see if there will be some pop and just sell their position. So it was flat last Friday. This was trading flat. Great short, obviously, from the pre-market. Massive short, but still, holding this key level. I think this 24 is very important level to watch. I mean, you can see the bounce from that level. So 24 will be your key area after this halt down. So I would pay attention to that. If it really retests this 24 and it flush back down, so this could be just another I mean, this might be just another move back all the way to 10-15 level. Be careful with that. If not, if it really bounces, could kind of scalp the momentum and see how it goes. But pay attention to the volume. See if the volume is really exists and you see it's coming in, and shorts are covering or covering, and then you see the bounce. But be careful with the top. That would create another opportunity for reshort. So yeah, that's kind of it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the month of July. I hope you guys enjoyed and ready for the month of August. We're still in this summer and getting things better and better. I think month of August usually it's 50-50 on the volume side, but with this market condition that we're in, we might see more volume into and a lot of rotation. So this rotation still continues. So we pay attention to the rotation and see how that would plays out. So anyway, take care, team, and I hope you have a great weekend and month ahead.